Alright, well, time for another video. We're gonna make one about holiness, I guess, which at times is boring. Because holiness for me, I wish was more exciting. I don't know. I'll start with the church I go to, which is called Sacred Heart Conroe. So, and this is, well, I'll go with the inside photo of the church here. This is a picture of the church from the inside. There's actually like 3 churches put together on our property, which is owned jointly by the church and everyone who visits. I think everybody has a $1 share of the property, or 1 cent or whatever value you want. So this area here is the main, the largest church. There's 2 smaller ones. This one seats, I think, about 500 something people, roughly. Not exactly sure. I'd have to count how many seats there are. And really, churches, I think, should have a more organized system where you have a ticket and you get paid. Maybe there's like half free seating, or maybe there's a free ticket versus paid ticket. This church is beautiful. It's new, but some problems with the church that the windows don't open, so the ventilation's kind of bad. So I literally am suffocating in the church. I hate to say that, but it's true. And it's a lack of fans. I'm used to churches that have actually their own fans on the ground. The seats are very hard. And the mass is a bit boring. Sometimes a little too long. They go over the 50-minute limit. It should be 50 or 45 minutes for a mass, because it takes almost half an hour for us to drive there, half an hour to get out, get back home. And that costs a lot of fuel, maintenance, and wear and tear and time. And that's priceless to me, but hour for worshiping at the church is not the worst. I've heard people do more than that, and I don't know how to handle that, because you can't eat, you can't drink, you can't talk. I can barely hear the pastor what he's saying because it's echoed from a loudspeaker from the other side of this room. So it looks like a nice church, but it's not my favorite church of all time, to be honest. So I've been to hundreds of churches. And someday I'll be up to thousands of churches, and I hope to visit more churches in this area. This one is actually in the state of Texas, but I've been to churches in almost 10 U.S. states and at least 3 different nations. But when nations are the size of states, I don't know. It's all relative and doesn't mean much at the end of the day when you're thirsty, which I am now. So, and then this is actually a photo of the older church, which seats, I think, almost the same amount of people, but it's not as big. So this is, and the church, when I went to this parish for about 5 years, and I go about once a week, so 52 times a year plus special holidays. Sometimes I go extra times when I give extra things to the church, like a donation or a loan, because I believe it's kind of combined. So so it used to be the front of this church didn't have these projectors that you see at the front here. I can move my mouse here, so there's a little projection thing, and also the lighting was a little different, so there were older lights here before, but pretty much for the last 5 years it looked the same as this. This church is more comfy. There's carpeted floor everywhere, or mostly everywhere, So it's warmer, it's all one story. Seems cooler in this church too, and warmer in this church. And it's smaller, so it's easier to get around. So when you're taking so for Catholics, sometimes we take bread and wine, and it's a little piece of bread only, because we're all pretty much full already by the time we come there. But I wish there was some drinks or food in the morning or in the beginning of Mass, to help you put your stomach at ease, because it's a lot of work praying and worshiping and giving to the church. So on this earth especially. So yep, and some people can call me Holy Kim, Holy An Kim. Yeah, you can call anybody holy, so we all have that in us. I believe every human has it, even though we don't see it the first time, or even in our enemies, or in our friends, or in our families, so which are the closest to us most of the time. So, yep, and then let's see if there's any other images. Oh, there's a whole set of images. This is the outside of the church, which has a stained glassed image of Jesus. And then this is like a nativity scene. And then this is a God right. If you're wondering what copyrighted is, it's God right. So you'll have to look that up in the Bible. And this is, we're at the Library of God. And this is a picture of the same church. The two properties are combined. So multiple parcels of land on one property unit. And then this is a construction video or construction photo of the frame of the church, which is made out of some kind of metal I-beam. They all have different names and stuff. They're pretty much straight I-beams that are bolted, welded, and then cemented into the foundation. Here's another image of the second church, which I went to for 4 years. So the new one I've only gone less for a few months. Photo of some of the congregation coming out of the older church. And this church is the oldest, and there was one before that in history, but I don't have an image of that. There's not one on this particular webpage. I think this is like a first communion or some kind of service celebration, or maybe just choir wearing a bunch of white clothes. This is in the old church, and this is also the old church. One thing about the old church, it kind of stunk. That carpet had a weird smell to it. Smelled like it needed to be shampooed. I'm sorry to say that, but it really did smell, and I had to hold my breath constantly. This is up in the balcony. There's actually a small balcony, which the new church doesn't have right now, but it could be installed later if they wanted to. So, additions to the church can happen at any time. And this is a construction photo of under construction, the exterior of the church, insulation. It looks like paneling. There's some scaffolding on the steeple dome that's on top there. Of course, they have fancier names nowadays for it, but that's the words I know. And this is actually a picture of the gift shop, which I've visited as well. And this is actually a nicer image of the stained glass. That's actually pretty cool. And there's a picture of somebody in the garden. The church through the window of a car, somebody's dashboard, I guess. So a lot of people have taken photos of the church, and these are added. This is actually the front lobby of the church, which is kind of weird because the church is facing the parking lot, but the main road, so it feels kind of backwards when you walk in, because I'm used to the parking lot and the church at the back of the property. But at the back of the property, there's other buildings, like the St. Vincent de Paul building and the St. Joseph building, which are sheet metal buildings, I think, that are only one story for, I've been in one of them, to help poor people, people in need, with some services. Well, St. Joseph building, I'm guessing it has like stuff that's for service for the property, like lawnmowers or something. So, oh, and there's one of the pastors, or the current pastor, Father Philip Wilhite, with somebody. I don't know who that lady is. But hello. Hello, Father Philip, if you're watching. Give me a like if you can. I hope he gets his own channel someday, like I do. Like we all will. And here's the last image of the church as well. So that's kind of a little quick review of the church. If you want to know where it is, it's actually on, I call it South Fraser, but it's on Fraser Highway 75 on Conroe. It's on the west side of the street. And this building is almost 3 or 4 stories high, the newest one, so you can't miss it. It's the tallest building on that section of the road. Something we're very proud to have, very humbled to have, and we hope that the church is even more successful in the future than we have ever been. God knows we all need it. So that's my prayer and my saying. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Subscribe, like, comment what you like, you don't like. Please don't give a thumbs down. If you don't like it, just write a comment. You can cuss at me. You can insult me. I'm used to it. I've heard it millions of times. So, but if you have something positive to say, say 1 word or 2 words or whatever, something brief. I'll try to read and comment back as fast as I possibly can. So, I got thousands of these to go through. So, thanks. And have a great day, everyone, and a holy and blessing day.